Today is going to be a review video. A review video of the Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt. 1 month ago, whilst I was on a training camp over in Calpe in Spain, I got my hands on the Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt.
Good morning, welcome back to the vlog.
Since owning the device, I've done around 1,700 kilometers, and full disclaimer here before I get into the video, Wahoo very kindly I reached out to Wahoo after my Garmin 510. After my Garmin 510 broke on me whilst in Spain, I reached out to Wahoo and they very kindly helped me out of a bad situation. But I'm going to keep this review 100% honest and 100% unbiased. The Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt is around the same size as the Garmin 520 and also the Garmin 820. To purchase the standalone unit, it costs around £200, or after doing a quick search on the internet. This is around the same price as the direct competition, which is the Garmin 520. Now, as you saw at the start of the video there, I also own a number of devices, including 3 Garmins and the original Wahoo ELEMNT. Now, right off the bat, I didn't honestly get on with the original Wahoo ELEMNT. I just didn't like the look of it. It's big, it's chunky. I felt like it was far too bulky. This is in comparison to the Garmin 810. And yeah, I guess I just did not get a good vibe about this product. And after using it for about a month or 2, I ended up going back to my Garmin. Now, the ELEMNT Bolt is basically the reincarnation, the new version of the original Wahoo ELEMNT. It's got a very similar user interface, but it's a much sleeker design. It's a much smaller design, and everything is just a little bit more condensed. And in my opinion, this is the size that a bike computer should be. I feel like this device now is the first real competitor to Garmin, which is currently a monopolized market by Garmin. And I feel like right now in 2018, if any company is going to take away that market dominance that Garmin currently have, it's going to be Wahoo. This unit isn't touchscreen, which I don't really mind, especially here in the UK. We often get bad weather, we often get rain. So I like the security of just pressing a button to change page. You know, sometimes when you've got a pair of gloves on and it's raining, you're trying to swipe across the screen, it doesn't always register your finger. You have to do it a couple of times. It's not really a big problem, it's just more for the ease of use, which seems to be the sort of the thing that Wahoo are going with here, just ease of use. In my opinion, the user interface is much easier to navigate and much easier to operate than the Garmin competitors. For example, this is my main ride screen here. So typically when I'm riding along, I'll have my watts, my speed, how far I've done, and also my ride time. But I can very quickly zoom out and get more data fields as and when I want them. So if I zoom right out there, I can see the time in the bottom left corner. This is a handy feature I find, especially when I'm doing intervals. I can just zoom right in and all I need to focus on is the power there at the top. I feel it's important not to let your mind get sidetracked by reading other data fields. Data that you don't really need to consume whilst you're doing an effort. It's better to just focus the mind 100% on what you're doing and holding a specific number or whatever your situation may be. However, due to this sort of minimalism that Wahoo have gone for on the device, as a contrary, this means that to really set the device up properly and also to change any of the settings within the device, you have to connect it to the Wahoo ELEMNT app on your smartphone, and then the device connects to your phone via a Bluetooth link, and then you are able to take control of the settings of the device. This allows you to change the user settings such as your weight, your age, your FTP numbers, your max heart rate, which then allows the Bolt to calculate your different zones, etc. But the main thing that you need to connect your phone for is to change your data field. So say I don't want power at the top anymore, I want to have my ride time at the top of the screen, then I have to go into the app, go into the Bolt settings, and then change it that way. I mean, it's a very quick and simple process. As you can see there, I've now got power down at the bottom and my ride time at the top. But there is no way to do it on the device itself. I don't mind this personally, as I quite like the idea of technology advancements. You know, I'm young, I'm technologically astute, but I feel like perhaps the older generations, this might cause a little bit of a problem, and it seems weird that Wahoo have gone for such an ease of use core value to this product, but then the only way to operate a number of the settings is via an app on the smartphone. Now, one small feature on the Bolt that sets it apart for any Garmin device are these little LEDs at the top here. You can link these to your speed, heart rate, and power zones, and effectively the more LEDs lit up, the higher of a zone you are in. To me, this seems like a bit of an extra feature, something that I personally haven't used yet, and something that I don't think that I'm going to have a need for. A really cool feature that I like with the device is the integration with different third-party apps. Strava, Training Peaks, Today's Plan, MyFitnessPal. You link these via You guessed it, the app. So when I get home and I finish the ride, either if the device is connected to my phone via Bluetooth, or when I get inside and the device automatically connects to my home Wi-Fi, I end the ride, I save the ride, and it automatically uploads to Strava and Training Peaks. I've not once had a problem with this where it doesn't actually work. Every single time that I finish the ride and saved it, it uploads to my Training Peaks account and also my Strava account almost instantaneously. I get a notification pop up on my phone to tell me the activity has been uploaded. It's just a quick and convenient feature to get your ride uploaded onto the various social sites. Now, by far one of my favorite features of the device is how you are able to control any Wahoo smart trainer via the computer. I currently own the Wahoo Kickers Snap. Now, once that's plugged into the wall and turned on, I search for it as a normal sensor. It then picks up my turbo trainer and I'm able to control the resistance all via a page that becomes available on the computer. I can change things like the resistance level, 1 to 5, and I also can set a specific power for the turbo to sit at. For example, if it's at 200 watts, it automatically adjusts the resistance to 200 watts. All you have to do is keep pedaling and the turbo trainer takes care of the rest. I know most people use Zwift now, and if you have a smart trainer, you can, integrate that with Zwift. But this is a great option if you fancy a change, or Zwift just isn't available to you. One feature of the device that I want to use more of is the live segments feature. I used this once in Spain when I did my personal best at the Col de Rats. Now, the way this works is when you go on the Strava app, you can start a segment, which basically means you're favoriting a segment. And when your Element Bolt is connected to your Strava account, the live segments automatically transfer across. The starred segments automatically transfer across onto your device. Then when you are within 1 mile of the segment, a pop-up comes up on your screen and it tells you that you're about to start the segment. And when you start the segment, it comes up with two options. You can either have it displayed against your own personal best time, or you can have your current time displayed against the KOM time. It tells you how many seconds behind you are or how many seconds ahead of that said time. And I guess this is a good way to pace yourself. If you're going up against a KOM, you know in real time if you are ahead or behind the target time. Now, personally, I actually found this to be a little bit of a disadvantage. As I mentioned, I've used this once with the Col de Rats in Spain, and I was going for a personal best time of sub 16 minutes. The first half of the ride, I ended up being, I think at one stage I was 45 seconds down on my estimated finish time to my personal best. So my estimated arrival time was 16 minutes and 45 seconds, and I thought I was not going to do it. It nearly cracked me, and I nearly just packed in the effort, but I decided to just change the screen and crack on and just keep, focus on my effort and try and make up as much time as possible. And by the end, I actually made up more than 45 seconds and I beat my personal best by around 20 seconds. So I feel like the live segments feature has to be taken with a pinch of salt, because seeing that you're down on a target time really can play havoc psychologically. A feature that I use a lot on Strava is the route builder app, purely because it's got the heat map. So when you go to a new area, you can plan a route, but you also can see on the roads, basically the more red the colour, the darker the colour, the more that road's been ridden down. So typically that tends to be the better roads that you want to ride your bike on. So when I'm in new areas, which happens quite a lot, I often use the Strava Route Builder app to plot out a route that I'm going to do, instead of just making up the route as I'm riding along, which then could lead me to getting lost. Me personally, I always like to know where I'm going and have a plan of where I'm going. I checked my Strava account this morning and I've got 250 routes on my account that I've planned like in the past. And again, similar to the live segment feature, those Strava routes, when it's linked to your account, automatically transfer over to your device. So as you can see there, I last synced it 1 day ago, and all of my 255 routes that I've planned are on the device. And I can just scroll through one and simply select it. And then off I go. Once I start, it shows me turn-by-turn directions. Then if I'm riding along a road and I miss a turning or I turn the wrong way, it produces some loud beeps to let me know that I've gone the wrong way. Again, another one of those ease of use features, just to try and make life a little bit simpler. I've only had this device for around a month now. I've used it pretty much every day for around a month, but there's a whole host of features that I still haven't used, such as the live tracking feature. I really do want to get into using the live segments more. As someone who loves to go for a Strava KOM every now and again, I feel like the live segment feature is something that I'm going to be interested in. So far, I haven't experienced any problems, any dropouts, any GPS glitches or any crashes with the device, which is the main reason why I wanted to switch from Garmin. As you can see, I've had 3 Garmin devices here. They've all had the same problems of crashing, of not recording rides, of missing GPS data. Now, I know last time I talked about the Wahoo Bolt in a video, a number of people have said that they've never had a problem with their Garmin. I can only speak from personal experience, and maybe I just got unlucky. So will I be going back to a Garmin device anytime soon? Honestly, no. I said this a few times now, but I feel like this is the first real competitor to try and take that industry crown off Garmin. You know, this is the best attempt yet. You know, there's been a whole host of different cycling-related companies that have brought out their own GPS computers, and so far, pretty much all of them have flopped. Wahoo seems to be the only brand that have gained a little bit of traction here. I feel like with this computer, they've really put Garmin on the back foot, and Garmin are going to have to come up with something real innovative to try and gain that consumer confidence once again. But this is great, and I feel like it's a very exciting time in the cycling technology world. Competition forces people to be better. It forces companies to be better, to be more efficient, to be more cost effective, and ultimately to us, the end user, produce a better product. So we will benefit from a better product, and we should get more pound for our buck, more buck for our pound. And that's going to conclude the review video of the Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt GPS computer. I tried to keep it fairly short and quite concise and just highlight the features that were most important to me and what stood out the most to me. But if you enjoyed this review video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I produce cycling videos almost every day. But with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you tomorrow at 5 PM.